Nigeria's National Assembly has urged the country's President Bola Tinubu to declare a state of emergency on the nation's infrastructure. According to the chairman of the Senate and House of Representatives Committees on Works, Senator Barinada Mpigi and Representative Akin Alabi, respectively, the state of emergency declaration becomes imperative given the enormity of the challenges on the ground. While noting that the situation of the nation's infrastructure calls for thinking outside the box, the lawmakers pointed out that the financial requirements needed to fix the nation's infrastructure are well beyond the capacity of annual appropriations. Oludare Akinlaja, Dr. Oludare Akinlaja is a managing partner of OAR&D Company, a research and development firm, and he joins us right here in the studio. It's good to have you, Dr. Akinlaja.
It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Do you agree with the call that there needs to be a declaration of a state of emergency on infrastructure in Nigeria?
Well, I don't know what they mean by state of emergency, but and what irks me really about that declaration is where it is coming from, because they are the people who are involved in driving policies and laws that help the infrastructure, that help close up infrastructural gaps and all that. So I'm really confused as to what they mean by declaring a state of emergency. But do we need to close our infrastructural gaps? Yes, we do. But sometimes I just think that people throw words around because they want to get some form of sensationalism. I don't think that was state of emergency. I'm wondering the intention behind the word. But do we need serious attention to be given to our infrastructural gaps and close up those gaps? Of course we do. Of course we do.
All right. The chairman and members of the committees on infrastructure, that's works rather, yeah, both of the Senate and House of Reps, were on a tour with the Minister of Works, former Governor of Ebonyi State, David Umahi, who kept saying they need more allocation, yeah, for infrastructure. They started from Lagos to look at the ongoing work, the beginning of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road. Yeah. Recently, of course, David Umahi has proudly announced that the Third Mainland Bridge rehabilitation has been completed. Yeah. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to use it.
I won't lie, it's beautiful.
Okay, it's beautiful, right?
It is.
So how it's 10 months down the road into, yeah, his administration, 10 months. How will you score Bola Tinubu as far as infrastructure is concerned?
It's difficult to use 10 months because of the gaps we have had in the nation. There's really a lot to cover up on, so it's difficult to score. But for like you just spoke about the Third Mainland Bridge, I have used that bridge, and the quality of work that is done on the bridge is excellent, we must say. And the fact that they have now done solar lights, solar street lights on the stretch of the bridge is beautiful, I must say. I must commend them in that area, that the work on the bridge was well done. But I don't know how to score because there are other things that people might complain about. Power, some certain roads are still bad, so it's difficult to score.
They've started the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road.
It's beautiful, but Kofi, it's important that we must pay attention. You see, when you are going to that road, people are asking, what of the ones that currently exist? What are you doing about the ones that currently exist? So what are we doing about that one? So you must do the ones that are directly involved with people in the immediate. So maybe we have short-term goals. The Lagos-Calabar road is a long-term goal. You agree with me that they can't finish that road in the next 1 year. Okay, so but what are the ones they can do in 5 months? So I like that the Third Mainland Bridge was something they would have been able to do quickly, and they did that. So most of those short interventions are quite important. And I want to say this with the state of emergency, Kofi. Most of the House of Assembly members who are now declaring a state of emergency, you will agree with me that most of our challenges with the constituency projects, those are infrastructural projects. Those are part of the things that are causing the infrastructural gap. So why are they saying the president should do a state of emergency? They themselves too should pay attention to their constituency projects and begin to fill these infrastructural gaps. And let's not always look at the top. Let's look at they who are doing the streets, the roads, and those small things that they do in their own constituencies.
All right, I won't be surprised if the House of Reps and the Senate member or chairman who spoke also have their own roads to their own communities in bad condition. Yeah. I do know that, for instance, Senator Mpigi, who comes from Ogoniland, the road that leads to his country home or his constituency from Port Harcourt, that's the Eleme section of the East-West Road, is in deplorable condition. Now, this is a road that is close to the Port Harcourt refinery that takes people to the On-Air port, for instance.
Yes.
We have the Indorama Element Petrochemical Refinery and Intels and all that.
Yes.
They went on a protest some time ago, the likes of Mpigi, the likes of Kingsley Chinda, ranking member of the House of Reps. Do we need to see the federal government, would you like to see the federal government hand some of its infrastructure, particularly roads, especially roads, over to the state governments, and then say we're going to send the money to you, budgetary allocation, and you just take care of it?
Well, Kofi, we have had this conversation a lot of times, and that's based on our design, okay? The federal government has its interest, the state government have their interest, the local government has their interest, the House of Rep member has his interest, so, and that's why you always find this tussle of it's our road, it's your road, it's federal road, that is state road, this is local road, all that conversation sometimes, I wouldn't lie to you, it's not because of the passion for the people, it's just because there are interests who want to be the ones, they want to be the ones to handle those particular projects. So you will always have those interest pressures come left to right. And I don't think that's a crime in itself. I'm just saying, if you say you will do something, if you say you want to do a road, please just ensure you get it done. Okay, and that road is a federal road, and I'm sure the federal government, if you check, maybe there have been budgetary allocations to it over and over again. Even if the full money was not paid, some people took a particular allocation, stopped at a particular point. I remember when this current minister came in, there were fights of you are not really using the correct, product to do the road. So you have all that tussle limit. So the stakeholders are a lot in that process. So I don't think we should talk about who should do or who should not do. I'm just saying, if they give you a road, you have documented it, you have given a budget, can you just ensure you get the road done? Because these roads, I can assure you, are very important to the economic activity in those areas. And you have mentioned how many ports and refineries are on that stretch. You can imagine if that road is opened up, what's going to happen to the area?
All right. So some state governors have gone ahead to even ask for such roads.
Yeah.
Give them to me. See what Ambode did with the Lagos Airport Road. If it was still in that same condition, who knows how things would have been. All right. Let's look at the previous administration of Muhammadu Buhari. He came into office and began, taking loans, foreign loans and domestic loans.
Yeah.
And what we kept hearing was he wants to invest those loans in infrastructure. He'll go to National Assembly and ask for loans to be approved. Buhari left a debt of 80 trillion naira for the Bola Tinubu administration. Where exactly did the money go to? And what infrastructure do you think those loans were used to fix?
Well, Kofi, I'm tempted to sing that song, that is if you ask. but the truth is this, and that's why I feel upset when I hear most of this state of emergency and infrastructure, because it's a full value chain. There was a chairman of the works of the Committee on Works in the House of Assembly, in the House of Representatives, in that administration, and I can assure you that everybody has information about where all these monies have gone to. You can't tell me you had no idea where this money went to or what it was used for. You have it there on your desk. The current Minister of Work has the information about the last administration on his desk. And most of the time he's usually giving contractors over bloated figures, and most of the time contractors might not even have enough money to complete the project. So it's a lot of stakeholder management, and how we can begin to be more accountable to our systems and to our processes. Can people just be accountable on the end-to-end? It's basic project management. Okay, if you say, and most times people collect money, come halfway and say, oh, the money was not enough, the price has increased, simply because you are trying to hoodwink the government. And Kofi, I will tell you this. We can blame the government for a lot of things, but if I'm doing a project with my fellow partner, I charge you 2 million. Once I see the government, I take it to 50 million.
Do you think that the citizens need to be more active in monitoring, government spending? We can look at, even apart from the state governments, we can look at apart from the federal government, we can look at local state governments and local governments, and the budgets that they present every year. For instance, in Lagos State, the governor has spared no effort in saying and reminding everyone that this budget is a budget that is meant to do a lot of infrastructural renewal and, of course, development. Some have not even looked at their local government budget. So do we need to see Nigerians taking up that responsibility?
So it's called civic. It's a civic right. There has to be an active participation of the people. And you see, currently I'm just trying to drive slowly and keep asking myself, what exactly is leadership without proper followership? You know, people must be taught that there is a way, or there is a way that you can be followers. You know, you should ask questions. You know, I tell people this: who is your House of Assembly member? Who is your councillor? What do you think is happening on your road? The street where you live on, is it in the line of is it in the line of the budget? You know, was it allocated for the power? Was it allocated for? I know certain organizations in Nigeria who used to help monitor. I don't want to mention names because, of course, but who used to help monitor budget spending of the House, of certain state governments, you know. But the challenge with that, Kofi, is that most governments have this closed, I don't know what you call it now, closed, you know, budget and how it is done. So really, you can't follow most of these spendings. But for some states, it's there. So we should begin to ask. You said you were going to allocate this road, Councillor. You said the government did not give you money, but we can see 10 million naira here. Let's begin to start from there. Our local government chairman, you say you don't get money because, oh, we don't get allocations, but you got 50 million naira. What did you use it for? You know, let's begin to ask those kind of questions. Nigeria needs its citizens to be very involved in its development process, not with sensationalism, of course, but with us asking for the right thing and understanding the process in which it is done.
Oludare, Akinlaja, thank you so very much for your time tonight.
Thank you for having me.